Hello, and welcome back to S&S Pigskin Picks in the house once again here for the NFL Conference Championship Week's picks. Bit of a mouthful, but yeah, man, 2 games to go, and then the big Super Bowl in 2.5 weeks. So a lot of excitingness to go through. I'm Pratty Sandhu, of course, joined by my co-host, Jeremiah Sheen. What is going on with you, Jer?
Just relaxing in the Winter Valley. And just got out to the town of Oliver, the infamous PF. Went into the PF's territory yesterday, and was going around there, causing trouble.
Well, that's what you got to do. So let's kick it off with the first half of the doubleheader, the NFC Championship game between the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles laying 6 points. Jalen Hurts was spotted practicing today. Dallas Goedert was spotted practicing today. And oh, baby, this is going to be a huge one. I mean, a red-hot Washington offense, a red-hot Philadelphia running game, defense, kind of polar opposites, don't you think, these teams?
Yeah, totally. The Washington's passing game is just exploding. Their run game's okay. And, Philadelphia's run game is just dominating, and their passing game is okay. So, it's really going to come down to defense. Our Philadelphia Eagles, they got the best defense in the league pretty well. Let's see what happens in this third divisional game, which I do not like at all. The familiarity scares me. Divisional games, like we say, all year can go any way, anytime. I wish it was another team.
Well, fun fact. Here's a fun fact that all 4 teams remaining have not committed a turnover in the playoffs so far. So, I mean, you would think it's going to come down to which team blinks first and turns it over, right? Like, Jaden Daniels doesn't really turn it over. Jalen Hurts doesn't really turn it over. So maybe a running fumble or something like that, a pooch punt, something like that might be the difference in this game. What do you think?
Well, I don't know about the weather right now in Philadelphia, but if it's anywhere near what it was the last game, people are going to fumble, and they just can't help it. When that ball's slick like that, or your fingers are frozen, or the ball's frozen, you can be the best guy and not fumble all year, and it's going to slip out. So, if this game turns into a slot fest, I love my Eagles even more. That'll just basically turn into a run-dominant game, and which will favor us.
Well, it's not supposed to snow, but it's supposed to be like 40 Fahrenheit, which is like barely above freezing. Honestly, I think like the cold really affects the kicking the most, because I remember Eagles kicker missed a couple extra points. The Houston kicker missed a couple of field goals, right? I mean, Tucker, what's his name from Kansas City? That guy never misses, right, in the cold. So, I mean, kicking, I think, can be a really big factor here. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's practicing today, so, I mean, he's got to be in somewhat good condition. Will he be able to run the ball? I don't know. I mean, they used that zone read early in the game last week, and they got a touchdown, right? So, will that be a possibility? Tough to say. Will Dallas Goedert be the safety valve, right? So, let's kick it off with our picks, and we'll start it off with your teaser, Jer. You are Washington plus 12, Buffalo up to 7.5. What is your thinking on that one?
I'm putting the voodoo again on Washington, taking them to win, so they will lose.
Yeah, you're getting
And
double digits.
Buffalo, I just love them plus the points. I think it's going to be another close game. I think if they lose, they'll lose by a touchdown, no more. So yeah, I love that one. And then that's it. Teasers got to be 2. So there's no more teasers left. You got to be straight up for the Super Bowl.
Well, you can always tease with the
So I
total.
just can't wait to see. I hope it's something different. I want my Eagles to get through, but I don't want to see another KC Eagles. Let's see something different. If it's, sorry to say, KC Washington or Buffalo Eagles, that's the one I really want to see. I'd basically be happy if either my team or Buffalo, a deserving franchise, deserving fan base, I'd just be happy either way. Probably be a great game too.
Right. So. Who do you think would be favored in that game, Philadelphia or Buffalo?
Just Philly, -2 maybe, or -1.5, something along those lines. Barely a favorite.
I'm curious on that one. Okay, well, I've got a straight up play here. I'm going to take the Eagles -6, and I'm doing a alternate spread parlay with the Eagles and Buffalo. So Eagles -6 on its own, and then I'm also taking the Eagles down to 2.5, and then moving Buffalo up to 4.5 through the key numbers, and then getting +112. So pretty much even money. I mean, I like Eagles to win by field goal more. And if Buffalo's going to lose, but I don't think it's going to be by more than 4 points. It might be 7, but more on that one later. And that's the. I mean, I really like Eagles in this game, and I just like the running game, the defense. I mean, you don't turn over Washington. They took advantage of Detroit's 5 turnovers. They took advantage of Tampa's blunders late in the game. I mean, they won fair and square, but I just don't see Eagles turn the ball over, knock on wood. I mean, obviously, if Eagles do turn the ball over, they can lose very, very easily. But, knock on wood, knock on everything you can think of. I would like to see a Buffalo Eagles Super Bowl myself, but that's another topic. Let's move on to the second half of the double header here. It is, where is it? One moment. I didn't get a chance to get into that one.
The revenge angle on this one really is key for me, I think. And I don't know why it seems like Kansas City loses to Buffalo in the regular season so they can have that extra fire, have that revenge angle to beat them in the playoffs. And this is, I'd love to think that Kansas City is going to go for another, go for a three-peat. But after winning so many times, and giving Buffalo so many chances, you got to think that Buffalo is maybe going to get one of these chances that they've had. The odds kind of weigh in their favor that way. Revenge for Buffalo in the playoffs. They just beat them in the regular season. Who cares? This is a revenge game for Buffalo, and they're going to be playing their hearts out. Again, if Buffalo,
it's a winner go home.
Third year, they will definitely take this one. I don't know if the Kansas City defense is going to allow that. And Kansas City's scored minimal points in a lot of games. So Buffalo can keep them under 30. I think they win. I think if Buffalo scores more than 30, I think they win.
I think Kansas City's only scored 30 points one time this year. I think that was against Houston. Or not Houston. There's one game they just mollywhopped somebody. But I got a 6-point teaser on this game with the total and Buffalo up to 7.5 over a touchdown. And I think it to be under 50 points. I mean, I don't see either team getting to 30. I like a lot of ball control here. KC matriculate up and down the field. And Buffalo, they don't score as much on the road, especially outdoors. Indoors, I mean, they lit up Detroit. They lit up the Rams, even though they lost indoors. But generally on the road, outdoors, they don't score, their 30, 40 burgers. So I like this one under 53.5 with the tees. And yeah, man, it's tough to bet against Kansas City when you're not getting over a field goal, right? And these teams are so evenly matched. Like they don't like Buffalo used to turn it over in the playoffs. And I'm seeing something different in this team. I'm seeing them just like not turn it over, not make mistakes. Their defense is like not the best. It's bend, don't break. Just let the team go up and down the fields. And if they get a touchdown, like make them earn it. Don't let up the big plays. They got a lot of quick defenders, not the biggest like linebackers or whatnot, but they got speed. So if they can keep maybe Mr. Travis Kelce with no touchdowns, under maybe 80 yards, and control Pacheco. And there's been a lot of talk about the refs favoring Kansas City. Even Patrick Mahomes says that he probably shouldn't have done that slide so late that he did, a controversial call where the two Houston guys smashed into each other, right? So I think the refs will be a little more judicial.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but everyone's pissed off that Kansas City gets a lot of the favorable calls, right? And sometimes they do, but I mean, you get it on reputation, right? Like Patriots would get a lot of these calls too, right? When they were winning a lot of games, and these refs are told just to protect the quarterback and whatnot. So, yeah, that's. I mean, this pretty much is the Super Bowl if you think about it. Buffalo and Kansas City. I know the books are favoring Eagles right now to win the Super Bowl. I think it's minus 165 if you want to bet on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl right now. And I think Kansas City's like second favorite, Buffalo third, obviously Washington fourth. But yeah, and I saw that Buffalo would be favored over Philadelphia, which is surprising. But yeah, man. As long as Washington doesn't make Super Bowl, as much as I like the Cinderella story, I think we're going to have a great matchup. And yeah, we'll have some content. I think we can have some content in between the Super Bowl and the championship games. Maybe we can look at some props. Maybe we can preview the NFL draft. Just some content ideas. I don't know what you're thinking about that, right? NFL draft's not too far away.
And with this penalty, all this ref stuff, I think they got to start letting the coaches challenging the penalties. Like, I know, like, they want to keep the integrity of the refs and everything. But, right. If there's so much of that going on, why not give them, okay, they got the challenges. Okay, no, my guys in the booth watch that. There's no way that's a penalty. I want to challenge that. And then that'll kind of that'll take away a lot of this, the refs are controlling the game. No, they're not, because they can be challenged, right? It's just an idea.
Well, Belichick's idea was to challenge everything. Well, Belichick says that he says coaches should be able to challenge everything: offsides, out of bounds, pass interference, just any penalty they should be able to challenge. Right? Because in NBA you can, except for out of bounds and inbounds.
Yeah,
and in hockey you can challenge everything except for.
Right? You see, like, they'll have a call and then it'll be, oh no, it changed. Right? There's no, they don't even have to challenge.
Baseball you can challenge
now, right? It's getting better.
Yeah. But it's like the NFL's picking and choosing what you can challenge. Right? It's like you should be able to challenge everything in the book. And, there's a lot of subjectivity in the books with hip drop tackles and face masks. And, sometimes a guy, his head gets jerked back and they call it a face mask. And you know what I mean? So I like to take the subjectivity out of it. And let's have some really good games. And that pretty much wraps it up for today's episode. Any
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be two memorable games. Yeah, hopefully the Eagles get through, and Buffalo, Buffalo Super Bowl. Everybody happy. Everyone will have a good time, except for the Kansas City fans. But don't worry, Kansas City will win another 2 or 3 Super Bowls in the next 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. I think Kansas City, Washington would be the worst outcome, but next time here on SNS Pigskin Picks. Later, everyone.
Peace.